Tennessee Valley Across the Table brings locals, often strangers with different views, together to have a conversation, not to debate issues, but to learn who we are as people. I'm Will Davis, and this series is inspired by StoryCorps and produced and edited by my honors students at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. This episode is by Daley Culberson.
Here are Bob Corker, former United States Senator and Mayor of Chattanooga, and Joda Thongnopnua, former Chief of Staff to Chattanooga Mayor Tim Kelly, discussing what inspired their political journeys.
I evolved into the public arena after a journey. In my late 20s, I went on a mission trip to Haiti, and it was hugely impactful to me. And yet I couldn't be traveling around the world doing mission trips with a company that was growing at 80% a year and responsibility to clients and people who worked with me. And so I began working in the inner city and saw that we had thousands of Chattanoogans that didn't have decent, fit, and affordable housing, and I felt like I could do something about it. And so I led the creation of a nonprofit called Chattanooga Neighborhood Enterprise. A governor who was running for office at the time saw what we were doing. He asked me to serve on a state board, and I saw the difference that you could make in the public arena in people's lives. And so having the ability in the public arena to make a difference in people's lives, to me, was central and the only reason that I pursued that for a period of time.
I grew up in Eastridge, Tennessee, and my dad immigrated from Thailand and moved to this country whenever he was quite young, 9 or 10 years old. And my mom's family had roots in the Deep South, but her family, just a generation before her, had immigrated from Italy. So I kind of had this international perspective in my family, but it was rooted here locally. And throughout my early life, I watched my parents, work their way up from the, right on the cusp of making it. Every month it was a bit of a struggle, but they believed and taught us, my two younger sisters and myself, that if you worked hard and played by the rules that you could get ahead. And they did. It was a struggle, but they managed to work their way into the middle class. And I watched my neighbors doing the exact same thing, but the story didn't always end up the same. And I think that informed my politics, watching people work really hard and not quite get as far as my parents did. And that felt a little unjust to me. I think my politics got shaped by that, and a deep optimistic belief that if, that was rooted in watching people, my parents in particular, work really hard and get ahead, and that was something that was possible here in America, maybe only possible, given the certain circumstances that two immigrant families come into make a life here. And then what counterbalanced it, which was that we always had a lot more work to do to make that true for every family. And I believe in the power of institutions. I'd say my politics are progressive. I believe in the power of government to powerfully change people's lives.
To me, that was a central value. Every day I was in office, I thank God for the opportunity to have impact on people's lives. But nothing was as rewarding as being mayor of the city of Chattanooga, where you touch people in such a real way and see them on a daily basis.
That was Bob Corker and Joda Thongnopnua, and I am Daley Culberson, an honors student studying political science at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. I produced this piece with help from my classmates and Will Davis at the UTC PodLab.